Very good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Ravi Kumar Poluru, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Information Technology. So today's topic is peer inspection. Today we are going to discuss about the peer inspection. Peer inspection is nothing but can called as peer inspection or peer review or peer revised, okay, or revisit. Okay, so this peer review or peer inspections is mainly used for to improve the quality of the products. This is very important in any organization to improve the quality and to maintain the quality of the products and to identify the defects in the software products. This mainly these software products they are going to identify the different types of bugs in early stages. So peer inspection is very important to play in the organizations. We'll see now why, what is the use of peer review and how we are going to verify the different types of bugs and what are the main criteria we require in the peer inspection. Okay, so peer review is nothing but it is a review technique which is a static white box testing. So we have the different types of testings are there, white box as well as the black box. So in mainly this peer review is going to identify the static white box testing, so that they're going to identify the defects or the errors in the early stage of the life cycle. So why in the white box means later in the black box they cannot identify the different types of bugs in the black box testing techniques. So in this diagram, we can have the loop. So we have the informal walkthrough and peer review inspections will be there. Okay, so these are the different types of the stages will be there. So mainly in the peer review, it means they're going to identify the errors or the bugs in the software so that they can easily identify. So mainly the seniors will be going to identify the quality of the softwares or the products. Why means this is very important role to identify or to highlight the errors in the softwares for the product. So before delivering the product, they're going to have the peer inspection so that these senior people will be going to thoroughly they can identify the bugs and they can write the detail in detail about the documentations. Okay, what are the errors they are going to identify in the formality of the inspection here. Okay, so here we can have peer inspections are mainly we can use really frequently so that they're going to verify about the quality of the system. We have the different types of the quality mechanisms and indicators will be there. So here we have the transition engineering. So this transition engineering is mainly used to convert from one anti-craft to the other anti-craft so that they are going to check that what is the consistency of the product or the software and how much feasibility will be there and understandability of the software or the product and the technology which will be used in the engineering anti-craft. So this transition engineering will be having the more information about the product which will be understood by the different types of the criteria to identify the engineering anti-crafts. So next one is here they can have the different types of the demonstrations will be performed so that in these demonstrations they're going to identify the use cases, different types of the scenarios will be there to check whether these criteria will be suitable or not. And here they can use the different types of the environment tools such as the compilers, debuggers, analyzers, automatic test suites. So this will be mainly used in the forward engineering or in the reverse engineering, or they can be used in the round trip engineering can be used. So this will be very useful to represent data in a rigor, consistency, completeness, and change control in the software product. So mainly here in the life cycle, we are going to test the various types of the critical trade-offs, acceptance criteria, and what are the various requirements complaints will be there. By this, in the change management, we have the different types of metrics will be there. They are going to check like multiple perspective changes will be there, the trends, and what are the convergency. Is there any convergency or the divergency will be there in the quality, and in the progress goals will be, they are going to identify the different types of the changes in the metrics. So here the inspections team will be have a professional development. So this they are going to check the different types of the criteria. So mainly these products will be verified by the senior members. The junior team members, they have developed some products which will be reviewed by the seniors mentors. Okay, these senior mentors are very professional. They are going to identify the defects in the product. So they are going to. It's very important to identify the bugs before delivering the products here. So these experts will have the communication between between the junior members and the senior members, and they're going to share their knowledge, how they're going to identify the products, and they're going to give us some suggestions to improve the new skill persons. And also we will have the gross blunders. They're going to caught and the feedback. So feedback is very important here. So if there any problems is faced, so they're going to check that and having some identify the what are the good practices and bad practices will be there. They're going to give some feedback. So the best way give the suggestions to the junior software engineers is to learn and have a brief feedback by the senior members. So these inspections are also a good vehicle. Why means, so they are going to check about the how much quality will be there in the products. The senior members will give the in detail documentation about what are the defects in the product or the software, and how the communication between the junior members and the senior members, and sharing of the knowledge is very important here. These senior members will look into the software and the documentation, should have the products, and scrutinize each and every line, and going to verify the how the process of the product will be performing and run in the smooth manner. So overall here we have the coverage of the inspection, so that they're going to check all the authors and how the different types of the components in the peer inspection. And here the junior members or the authors need to have the random component inspected periodically. So here they may be intimated or without intimation, these senior members will be inspected or review the junior members developed by the products. So that here sometimes the sudden inspections will be very good, because how they're going to do the product or the software will be monitored by the senior authors. So these junior authors will be easily learn from the senior members. So these inspections can be have in different ways. This can be informal, or we can call as the formal, or we can sometimes we can call as the continuous manner inspections will be there. Informal inspections can be done by without intimating to the junior members. So this will be easily the developers are going to read or integrated the software with the other softwares. So during this test will be independent testing teams will be there. They're going to scrutinize each and every product or the inspections to the junior members. These inspections will be a tangibly focusable on the integrated as well as the executable of the overall system here. So here finally they're going to identify the critical component designs. This inspected by various metrics such as the quality and the performance, and how the different or various of the features will be involved in the product. So this seniors member will be mainly focusing on the quality of the product. So here in the inspection, so mainly they are trying to resolving an existing issue. So these senior members mainly checking the different types of the bugs and identifying, they're trying to resolve the existing issues with the different types of the solutions understood by the senior members. So they're going to give the brief information to the junior members to do the to resolve the problem in a smoother manner. And however, these inspections will be benefited, and also the many organizations have the meetings and give the formal inspections so that it will be very useful for the products, and this will be very extremely counterproductive. So the 20% of the technical anti-crafts. So how these anti-crafts can be checked means based upon the use cases, design models, and source code, and the test cases. So we have the technical anti-crafts. So based upon the use cases, they are taking the different types of the scenarios, how can they can resolve the issues, and have the various design models, and which programming will be very useful for this one. And the test cases can be done in detail. They are going to scrutinize and compare with the other one to provide them more quality assurance. These peer inspections are mainly used to improve the quality assurance of the activity. And also the process will be checking mainly the quality assurance on the inspections and will not be cost effective. So this can be done based upon the manual as well as the automation of the tools here. So here the design errors or the architecture errors are rarely observed. So this mainly the senior members, they're going to verify the design errors and the architecture errors. This will be very rare. Mainly they are going to concentrate on the software or the coding part, and also the superficial review unless the inspection is narrowly focused on particular issues. So they maybe have the specific issues, or they may be in detail about the errors or the superficials of the errors will be there. So these inspections mainly happen based upon the whether it is a substantial or it can be a superficial inspections of the reviews will be done. Today's mainly the systems have having the highly complex, and also the components can be have innumerable components will be there, and also the concurrent executions, distributed resources, and having the demand dimensions of the complexities will be there. So based upon the things, the senior members will be checking how this human interacts the world class chess players. So when you're taking the different types of the use cases, here we have the world class chess players. They can have the dynamic interaction within some simple software systems. So they can take the different types of the use cases and how they're going to provide the quality of the world class chess players based upon the inspections by the field members. And also we have the random human inspections will be there. This will be degenerated into the comments. So these comments can be done and have the first order semantic issues will be there, and this results in the discovery of a real performance. It means whenever we are having the random human inspections will be there, this can be how the more bottleneck problem will be there, and also serious control issues will be there, such as the deadlocks, because when the resources are not sufficient and they are trying to share the resources from the one person to the another persons, there may be occur the deadlocks and the races will be there and resource contentions will be there. So that's why we need to provide the resources very efficiently, and also the architecture and the design of the architecture should not be a weakness. It means there should not be any faults in the scalability and reliability or interoperability will be there. And also portability. So mainly while they're designing the architectures, they need to verify about the different types of the metrics. This architecture has to be availability, scalability, and reliability. Okay, and interoperability we need to check by the senior members. Okay, these are the mainly serious control issues will be happen if they're not going to concentrate to give the correct feedback. So mainly in the travel cases, the architecture issues are exposed only through more rigorously engineering activities. It means uh, they can have the general inspection, okay, in the softwares or the documentations or in the requirements. When you're going to have the look on the architecture issues, they need to more rigorously do the inspection such as analysis, prototyping, or the experimentations. So how they're going to do the analysis of the different types of the components in the architecture, and how this prototype will be suitable to the software project, and experimentations will be done in the different types of the cases, and the constructions design models will be there, okay, and committing the current status of the design models to an executable implementation. They may be checking the forward engineering, okay, and how this model will be implemented, okay, in the design models, and also the different types of the components, demonstrating the current implementations, checking the how much strength will be there, the weaknesses in the context, based upon the different types of the use cases or the scenarios they have taken, whether this architecture will be suitable in that particular software, and how many components will be used. Okay, so these lessons will be learned based upon the models and use cases, implementations, and the plans. So this inspection team has to be looked in detail about the different types of the models and use cases will be there, and the implementation has to be, means coding part will be, and planning is very vital role for the architecture to provide the more quality. So this is an iterative process which will be set together in the balance. And also they need to checkpoints will be there. These checkpoints will be going to include a human review inspections focused on the critical issues. How, means the inspections are not only the primary checkpoints, they are going to take the different types of the criteria here, and in the life cycle the anti-corrupts will be there. This can be a subjective for the human reviews than the others. So they can have the different types of the large percentage of the project resources. So mainly they need to concentrate on the project resources. So if the resources are not adequate, then they may be getting the deadlocks. The races will be there. It is very bad practices if you're not providing the adequate resources to the human inspections. And also this will be having the low value added box checkers will be there, and project cannot be successful. So that's why the resources and have the good skilled people so that the project will be succeeding. Okay, and also successful software efforts will be mainly depends upon the key designers and the testers and the developers. The success will be impacted mainly on the development of the software, and the testing of the different types of the testers will be there. So mainly they need to check the automation testers, and the developers need to check. Okay, so these are the main target people who can lead the succeed for the software. Okay, and also the site meetings, inspections of the documents. Sometimes it may be good, or sometimes no need in detail about the each and every time. So more number of meetings also it will be very hectic. So that's why the inspection must be quarterly or the monthly, or it can be in the annually. So it will be very good to get the more success. And also the quality assurance will be there. Everyone responsibility. So the software has to be provide the more quality assurance, and also they need to a separate discipline perform the quality assurance specialist. So this quality need to generate in a proper manner also. And the quality of the evaluation engineering must be checking how the job of an engineering team will be dependent or the independent. Most of the independent of the architecture and the development team has have the independent of the different types of the team should be independent, not the dependent. And also the life cycle assessment has to be change management, trend analysis, and testing, as well as the inspection should be there for the life cycle assessment, so that to improve the more quality, and also to identify the bugs in the early stage of the life cycle. So here we have the some risk assessment guidance will be there. This peer team will be there. They're going to judge what are the different types of the software components will be there, and whether the portions of the components has to be reviewed, and different methods how they're going to scrutinize the risk factors in the risk assessment of the software product. Okay, the first one is components that use new technology, techniques, or the tools. So with the software for the product, when they're not using the new technology or the techniques or the tools, they maybe have the more risk. So they should be incorporate the new technology, the techniques, and the tools in the components. Next one is key architectural components. This architectural component will be playing the very important role, and how the different types of the components, 70% of the components will be incorporated in the architecture, and how the complex logic of the algorithms. So we should not use a very complex logic of the algorithms, because it cannot be understood by the developers while they are writing the coding part. So it is very difficult to understand and provide the accurate and the optimized. So that's why the logic should be very easy as well as the moderate. If it is a very complex, the algorithm is a logic of the algorithms are very complex. It is very difficult for the developers to do the software in an accurate manner. And also the machine security and safety critical components. It's very dangerous failure for the nodes. So we need to check that what are the main basic components we need to incorporate in the architecture. We should not consider the critical components. So these critical components will be having the very dangerous failures nodes also, and components having many expectations conditions will be there. They may be checking the failure modes. So when you are having the component should be in a moderate way, should not be in the complexity manner, or if it is a critical components, it will be very failure. So we cannot replace these complex or static components when there are failure conditions. And also the exception handling must be taken care. If exception handling code that cannot be easily be tested, why means if you are not caught the bugs in time or in the early stages of the software product development, so it will be very it's not very easy to be tested. And also the components that are intended to be reused. So what are the components we are using in the architecture? They should be reusable. They not be reworked. Okay. The components should be serve as a models or templates for other components. So when you are using the components, these components has to be serve as a models or the templates for the another components. So these components may be very useful to reuse these components for the other components. And also it will be affecting the multiple portions of the products. Mainly sometimes we can have the complex user interface. So these complex user interfaces must be handled very carefully. So these user interfaces we can check in an easy manner. This user interface has to be easily monitored by the clients or the stakeholders. Components created by less experienced developers. See, we need to check that components must be have the professional way. Okay, if you are taking the very less experienced developers, it will be very hectic to checking the different types of the components are not suitable in the architecture. And also the code models. When you're doing the code modules, having high cyclomatic complexity. Okay, code models has to be in detail be scrutinized by the experts and should not be a complexity, because when you are having the very aesthetic lines of the codes, that should not be placed in the software products. And models having the history of the many defects of the changes. So when you're having the different types of the models and it's keep on trying to change, so it will be or sometimes the many errors, the defects will be happen when you are using the more models in the components. Okay. Now we'll see the how this inspections will be done in the different types of the categories, and how the work product type will be there, and where the suggested reviews will be there, because reviewers should be a specialist, not the general. So if you are taking the general reviewers for the inspection of the different types of the models, so they cannot identify what are the bugs or the defects in the software of the products. So that's why there should be a specialist reviewers to identify the flaws in the architecture of in the design part. Now we'll see in detail about what are the different types of the reviewers will be there. Okay, the first one is architecture or a high level design. So for the architecture work or the high level design work, mainly the suggested reviewers will be there. Can be architect, or he can be a requirements analyst, or he can be a designer, project manager, or integration test engineers will be there. So these are the specialist reviewers will be there to identify the flaws in the architecture level or in the high level design product work. Why means, so if you are taking the specialist for the architecture, okay, so he can easily identify what are the defects in the architecture. Okay, so if you are taking the general reviewers, they cannot identify what are the flaws in the components of the architecture as well as in the components. So the requirements analyst, mainly he knows what are the different types of the requirements in the architecture. So he can easily understood and identify what are the flaws in the architecture or in the design part. So when you're taking the designer, so designer generally he can know what are the different types of the components or the models which are placing the software as well as the hardware components placed in the architecture of the design part here. The project manager, he is the main key role. He know each and every modules in the software project. So that's why the project manager will be the specialist to identify the flaws in the architecture. And integration test engineers. So in the integration test engineers, this integration test engineers will be going to identify the different types of the flaws in the hardware part as well as the software in the architecture design. And detailed design. So detailed design also, so the designer will be there, architecture, tech, or we can call as a programmer, integration test engineers will be there. So these are the specialist suggested reviewers for the identify the flaws in the design part. The process documentation. So the main heart of the product or the project is the documentation. So documentation is the mainly impacted to do the project. So the specialist of the suggested reviewers will be there. The process improvement group leader. So the team leader or the group leader, he knows what are the process documentation flaws will be there, and the process improvement working group members will be there, and management level process owners will be there, and practitioner representative. So these are the main suggested reviewers will be there to identify the different types of the flaws in the process documentations. So documentation, thoroughly they need to do the documentation to easily understand to the developers as well as for the whole project team members. And project plans. In the project plans, the project manager will be there and program manager will be there. So project manager is different and program manager will be different. The project manager will be overall, he is the main key role responsibility of the project. The program manager, the specific to do handle for the coding part, or we can call as the tools what they are going to use in the software project. And business sponsor. So stakeholders will be there, and marketing or the sales representative will be there, and technical lead will be there, quality assurance manager will be there. So these are the main members, suggested reviewers will be there for the project plans. Okay, and next one is requirement specifications. In the requirement specifications, so mainly we can have different types of the experts or the suggested reviewers will be there for the requirement analysis, project manager, architect and designers, and system test engineers, quality assurance manager will be there, and user or marketing representative, documentation writer. So this documentation writer will be there. So he knows each and every criteria, what are the main requirement specifications for the project, such as the hardware, software, the tools what they're going to use, and different specifications for the things will be done by the documentation writer and subject matter expert. This subject matter experts, he knows each and every module, the use cases, what are the subject they're going to use in the software of the product. And technical support representative will be there. So because he is the main person, he are going to handle the what are the different types of the specifications for the requirement will be there. And source code. So source codes, we know that mainly the designer part or the programmer, unit test engineer will be there, maintainer and requirements analyst will be there, coding standard experts will be there. So these are the main experts which are going to scrutinize the source code to identify the different types of the faults or the defects in the source code. Next one is system technical documentation. So system technical documentations mainly will be suggested reviewers will be author, project manager, and maintainer, or we can use the programmer will be there. And the last one is test documentation. So the test documentations will be done by the testing teams. Okay, test engineer will be there, programmer, or we can call as the unit testing or architecture. This can be used the integration testing. So we have the different types of the testing will be there, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, or we can use the white box or the black box testing will be there, and requirement analysis will be there. So this can be mainly applicable for the system testing, and quality assurance representative will be there. This will be mainly check the in detail about the test documentation. And we have the inspection procedure. This inspection procedures can have the different types of the participants will be there. We'll see now what are the main rules, okay, and what are the responsibility of the different types of the participants here. In your considering the author, so this author can be used mainly for the maintainer of the work product to be inspected, and mainly he will be going to inspection process will be done by the process review coordinators to assembly moderators, checking the what are the main states or objectives for the inspections, and delivers for the work products. Different types of the specifications will be there, and documentations will be there to identify the from easier to the moderator, and works with the moderator to select the different types of the inspectors and assign the rules, and addresses the items. So this when they're going to identify the flaws, they're going to have the issue log and typo list will be there. They're going to in detail write about the different types of the issues in the log, and report rework time will be there, and defer codes to be moderate will be there for the role of the author. And when you are considering the moderator, so mainly they're going to use the inspection moderators will be there. The main checklist for the moderator will be the plans will be there, plans, schedules, and leads the inspection events will be there, and works with the author. So this moderator will be work with the author and for selecting the different types of the rules, and assemble inspection package will be there. So at least 3 days prior. So this meeting will be intimated 3 days before, okay, and determines whether the preparation is sufficient to hold the meetings, okay, and they're going to, if not, reschedule meeting will be there, okay. The inspection has to be intimated before 3 days before only. If not, they can have the rescheduling the meetings, okay, when they're not have the preparation for the meetings, and facilitates inspection meetings will be there. They're going to check the readers present each and every products, okay, and reports any action items, okay, and also inspection team. So they're going to check the what are the product results, and also verify the delegates responsibility to someone else, Okay, so this will be sourced by the moderator and also how the delivers completed inspection summary. Okay, here in the peer inspection, after completion of the documentation, okay, are going to identify the products or the defects. They're going to write the in detail summary report to the organization peer review coordinators. Okay, this will be very helpful for the junior members. What are the bugs they have identified and how they're going to overcome. So these senior members of the peer inspection or review team will be giving some suggestions to the junior members to overcome the problems. So then the quality will be improved and also providing the very efficient products to the uh, target members. Okay, the stakeholders will be very happy when they are going to check the summary report, how they are going to identify the different types of the defects in the peer review meetings. Okay, and here the reader will be there. This reader will be present the portion of the work product. It means the inspections will be checking the what are the comments and the issues or the questions from the inspectors. Recorders will be there, so these will be reported, classifies the different types of the issues raised during the inspections meetings. Okay, and inspector. So this inspector will be in detail examine the various types of the work product. Okay, so here the inspection meeting going to identify the defects or the bugs and preparing for the contributing to the meeting and records the preparation time. So this is very important role for recording the how much time they have spent for the identifying the bugs and improving the quality of the product. And meetings will be going to check that what are the different types of the identified defects, rise issues, and suggested improvements will be done during the inspections. Verifier. So this verifier will follow up the so what are the suggestions given by the inspection team here and whether they have done appropriately and correctly in a good manner. So these are the mainly peer inspections team will be there to identify the bugs in a peer review of the peer inspection process. Okay, these are the reviews and the references I have taken from the different types of the authors. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.